Let's get one thing straight. Walking is great, but it's not going to save you from the decline that sneaks up after 60. You've been told your whole life that a daily walk is the golden ticket to staying healthy, mobile, and independent. And sure, it keeps your heart pumping and your legs moving. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people won't tell you. Walking doesn't build the strength you actually need to get up from a low chair without using your arms, to carry groceries up a flight of stairs without getting winded, or to catch yourself before you hit the ground when you stumble. It's a maintenance tool at best, and maintenance isn't enough when your muscles are shrinking, your bones are thinning, and your balance is quietly slipping away year after year. The real problem isn't that you're not moving, it's that you're not moving under resistance, and that's where everything falls apart. Walking keeps you active, but it doesn't challenge your body to adapt, grow stronger, or fight back against the natural decline of aging. You need something more targeted, more deliberate, something that actually rebuilds what time is trying to take from you. That's exactly what the next 5 exercises are designed to do. Restore functional strength, reinforce bone density, stabilize your joints, and give you back the confidence to move through life without hesitation or fear. There's something powerful about reclaiming the simple act of sitting down and standing back up without needing to grab onto something. That's what the goblet squat does. It rebuilds the foundation underneath everything else, strengthening the quads, glutes, hips, and core in a way that mirrors real life. Walking might keep you moving, but it won't prepare your legs for the resistance your body actually needs when you're getting off a low chair or climbing out of a car with confidence. Holding a single dumbbell or kettlebell close to your chest shifts the challenge inward, forcing your torso to stay upright and your core to fire up with every rep. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about reinforcing bone density, stabilizing joints, and teaching your body to move correctly under load. Picture yourself lowering into a squat like you're sitting into an invisible chair, pausing at the bottom where your hips drop just below your knees, then driving through your heels to stand tall again. Here's how to nail it. Grab a dumbbell, start with something manageable like 10 or 15 pounds, and hold it vertically against your chest with both hands cupping the top end. Palms facing upward like you're cradling a goblet, elbows tucked in close to your ribs. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outward, then take a deep breath and lower yourself down as if you're about to sit in a chair that's just a bit too low. Keep your chest proud, your weight centered over your heels, and once your thighs break parallel with the floor, push through those heels and rise back up with control. Aim for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, resting about 90 seconds between sets to let your legs recover while keeping the intensity high enough to spark real adaptation. Now let's move on to the second exercise, one that quietly reveals how much upper body strength slips away when we're not paying attention. Most people don't realize how much pushing power they've lost until they try to push themselves up from the floor or brace against a wall to catch their balance. That's where the wall press comes in. It's a deceptively simple movement that rebuilds the chest, shoulders, and triceps without the intimidation or joint stress of a traditional push-up. It mimics the exact pushing patterns you use every single day, like opening a heavy door, steadying yourself after a stumble, or rising from the ground with control. The beauty of this exercise is in its scalability. You're working against your own body weight, but the angle determines how hard it feels. Stand facing a wall, place your hands flat against it at shoulder height and slightly wider than your shoulders, then step back until your body forms a gentle incline. From there, bend your elbows and bring your chest toward the wall, keeping your core tight and your body in a straight line from head to heels. Then press back to the starting position. Here's the breakdown. If you're just starting out, stand closer to the wall to make it easier. If the wall feels too light and you're ready for more, position a sturdy chair against the wall and perform your press-ups there with your hands gripping the seat. It drops your body lower and cranks up the resistance. Shoot for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, resting about 60 seconds between sets. Just enough time to shake out your arms and catch your breath. This isn't about showing off, it's about restoring the functional pushing power that walking will never give you, the kind that keeps you steady, strong, and ready for whatever life throws your way. The third exercise targets something walking barely touches, the entire backside of your body, from your hamstrings up through your glutes and into your lower back. These muscles are the unsung heroes of posture, balance, and injury prevention, yet they're often the first to weaken when all we do is walk forward. The Romanian deadlift teaches your body how to hinge at the hips properly, a movement pattern you use every time you bend down to pick something up, tie your shoes, or lift a bag from the floor without throwing your back out. This isn't about hoisting massive weight. It's about precision and control, loading the posterior chain in a way that reinforces strength where walking leaves gaps. When you master the hip hinge, you're essentially bulletproofing your lower back and taking pressure off your knees, replacing the strain with power that radiates from your glutes and hamstrings. It's the difference between bending over with a rounded spine and hoping for the best versus moving with the mechanical advantage your body was designed to use. Here's how to execute it. Grab a pair of light dumbbells, maybe 10 to 20 pounds each to start, and let them hang at arm's length in front of your thighs, palms facing your body, feet hip-width apart with knees softly bent. Push your hips back like you're closing a car door behind you with your butt, sliding the weights down the front of your legs while keeping your back flat and chest proud, descending until you feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings around mid-shin level. Drive your hips forward and squeeze your glutes hard to return to standing. Aim for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps with about 90 seconds of rest between sets, and you'll start building the kind of resilient strength that protects your body and restores confidence in every movement. Moving into the fourth exercise, we're shifting focus to the muscles that quite literally hold you upright and keep your shoulders from rounding forward. The dumbbell row is all about building a strong, resilient upper back. The rhomboids, lats, and rear shoulders that counteract years of slouching, driving, and sitting. Walking won't fix rounded posture or weak pulling strength, but rowing will. And it does so by training the exact motion you need when lifting, carrying, or stabilizing your body against resistance. Think about how often you reach, pull, or carry something throughout the day. Opening a heavy door, pulling a suitcase off a carousel, hauling a bag of soil across the yard. Those actions demand pulling power, and without it, your shoulders drift forward, your spine curves, and your entire upper body loses its structural integrity. The dumbbell row rebuilds that strength from the inside out, retraining your body to pull with control and keeping your shoulder blades working the way they're supposed to. Here's the setup. Grab a single dumbbell, start with 10 to 15 pounds, and stand beside a sturdy chair or table, placing your left hand on it for support while staggering your stance with your left foot forward and right foot back. Hinge forward at the hips so your torso is nearly parallel to the ground. Let the dumbbell hang in your right hand with your arm fully extended, then pull it straight up toward your rib cage by driving your elbow back and squeezing your shoulder blade inward. Lower it with control, complete 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps per arm, rest about 60 to 90 seconds between sets, and watch how quickly your posture improves and your upper body starts feeling stable again. We've arrived at the fifth and final exercise, and it's one that most people completely overlook: the calves. These muscles might seem small and insignificant, but they're absolutely critical for walking, propulsion, balance, and ankle stability, especially after 60. Every step you take relies on your calves to push off the ground with power and control, yet walking alone doesn't challenge them enough to maintain that strength. Without deliberate training, the calves gradually weaken, your gait becomes shuffled and hesitant, and the risk of stumbling or falling climbs higher. The loaded heel raise addresses this by working the calves through their full range of motion, from a deep stretch at the bottom to a peak contraction at the top. This isn't just about making your lower legs look better. It's about restoring the coordination, power, and confidence that keeps you moving smoothly and safely. Think of it like this. Strong calves are the foundation of every stride, the engine that propels you forward and keeps you upright when the ground isn't perfectly flat or when you need to react quickly to avoid a misstep. Here's how to do it right. Stand on the edge of a sturdy step or a thick book with the balls of your feet planted and your heels hanging off the edge, holding a dumbbell in one hand. Start with 10 to 15 pounds while using your other hand to grip a wall or railing for balance. Lower your heels down as far as you comfortably can, feeling a deep stretch through your calves. Then press through the balls of your feet and rise up as high as possible onto your toes, squeezing hard at the top. Perform 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps with about 60 seconds of rest between sets, and you'll rebuild the push-off power and ankle stability that walking simply cannot provide on its own. Look, if you're over 40 and feeling like your body isn't responding the way it used to, I put together something that might help. It's a 28-day protocol specifically designed for guys in their 40s and beyond, addressing exactly what changes in your body at this stage and how to work with it, not against it. I'm not going to sit here and pitch you, but if you're curious and want to check it out, there's a link in the pinned comment below, or you can just scan the QR code on your screen right now. It's there if you want it. So here's the real question. Are you going to keep doing what's comfortable, or are you finally ready to do what actually works? You've got the blueprint. 5 exercises, 5 days a week, targeting exactly what walking leaves behind. No gym required, just dumbbells and the decision to stop accepting decline as inevitable. What's one movement you struggle with now that was easy 10 years ago? That's not age. That's untrained muscle, and muscle responds to challenge at any age. Don't let this be another thing you nod at and forget. Apply it, test it, prove you're stronger than you think. If you're serious about taking back control, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning, and there's a lot more coming you won't want to miss.